Outright winners, head-to-head matchups, top finishing positions, Draftkings Darlings, course preview, and more. Welcome, everyone. It's Open Championship Week here on the Cutline. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Andy Lang, being joined, as always, by my fellow golf betting expert, Yann. Yann, is this your favorite golf tournament of the year?
Definitely up there. I mean, the chaos of the waste management is also up there, I'd say. I mean, it's certainly not going to be a live event in my top three, is it? So yeah, we'll take this one. We'll take this one.
It's not Live San Diego. Uh, well, we got a lot to get to. Normally, we do tales from the courtesy to start off with, but we gotta jump right into it. We're gonna do the course preview, and Jan, I want to go to you first. We're at Royal Birkdale, and to me, there's two main things that are going outside of the course. First, it doesn't look like it's going to be that windy, and I guess this is part of the course. It is dry. It is dry. So talk to us about Royal Birkdale and what you expect this week.
I am going to start with the weather, I think, because I think that's a massive factor this week. Um, I like the classy iron guys, and we've had a heat wave for a few weeks. You're going to get very dry, very firm, fast greens. They're going to be lightning quick. You're going to need some serious ball control. And I think the classy iron players is where to go. But if you do have that ball control, I think you can score here. I think this is a really interesting setup this week. I think 20 different handicappers could have 20 unique takes on what it takes to succeed at this course. This isn't a normal open course. It lacks a lot of the weird quirks you normally get. For me, it's actually pretty straightforward. Firstly, off the tee, you've got to find the fairways. They are narrow and they're hard to find, but you do need to find them. You're sort of okay with small misses this week. That won't punish you too much. But if you're missing big, you will be in some sort of fescue and the fixed stuff, and that's not where you want to end up at all. That will ruin your round straight away. I make this an accuracy course off the tee in a big way. Second shots are the big key for me here. These greens are attackable if you're on the fairway, in my opinion. You can go close and sort of set up some real birdie opportunities. I see the classy iron players separating from the field on approach. It's the big metric for me this week. Around the green, the bunkers aren't hard. I wouldn't be overly concerned about ending up in them. I don't really see this as an around the green test by any means. I wouldn't be putting too much weight into around the green, but it does always help. And like I say, once you're on the greens, it should be easy from a putting standpoint, but it's all about where you land up from your second shot. Putting isn't a major factor for me this week. Overall, I think you're looking for someone to just find fairways and attack the greens. It's accuracy and approach, but I think it just goes beyond stats. I think stylistically, you want guys with classy irons. That's the key for me this week. Historically, this is the most open major. I wouldn't be afraid of having a go at some bigger prices, certainly for top 20s, top 40s, and to make the cut markets. This is my favourite major. Money to be made. Let the games begin.
Yeah, with as dry as it is, there's accuracy, but there's also knowing where the ball is going to roll. Just because you hit the fairway doesn't mean it's going to end there. I'm looking hard at guys who can really manage their distance, because like if you come up short because you want to avoid the fairway bunkers, you have to come up real short, because with how dry it is, we see a lot of times perfect drive. Oh, wait, it's rolling. It trickled into the bunker. Bryson struggles in this type of course. I would expect him to struggle again. There's a few other guys that are pretty bad in this type of course, and then there are guys that just historically really play well here. And when I say here, I mean in open championships. Like, I know they're at different courses, but the style is the same. The strategy can be good, and I like the guys that have consistently shown they're making cuts and consistently finishing the top 20. So the guys that really can manage the distance as to where the ball lands in the fairways, I think, is going to be one of the key things. The course, yeah, you said pretty straightforward. First hole is pretty tough. The last hole is pretty tough, so it starts and ends with a bang. So I really enjoy the first hole, because you get through that first hole and then, okay, you're feeling good, but man, it can trip some people up. There's going to be some bogeys and double bogeys on that hole, and it's just like, oh, it's the worst way to start a major. So should be a lot of fun to get this tournament going. So All right, let's move to one and done. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Yann and I were talking before that he and I have just had a miserable one and done. The strategy's been terrible. We've saved too many big name guys. We've tried to get cute with some guys. So I'm pulling out a heavy hitter. Well, maybe a heavy hitter, Tommy Fleetwood. Still looking for that big major here, Yann, but love his form. His form has really gotten better as the season has gone on. I'm looking at his last finish is 13th last week, which is always a good sign. 14th, 11th, and 4th. He did finish 16th here last year. He's just kind of tiptoeing around a big time finish. So I'm surprised I've saved Fleetwood this long, but he's going to be my one and done pick. Who'd you end up with?
I hate myself for it, but it's Victor Hovland for me this week. This course is his game. His irons give him such a good base to play with here. He's one of the best iron players in the field. And he has shown some real peak golf recently, a win at the Travellers and a third place at the Canadian. And then he comes back to Europe last week and puts up a 13th place finish in a prep week. I think he's ready to go. Top 20s at the Masters, Players, and Arnold Palmer this year too. If that Hovland turns up, I give him every chance of winning this. I say it all the time with this guy. Him at his peak is genuinely one of the best golfers I've ever seen. I get there is no flaw with Hovland. He can easily miss the cut, but I just can't get away from the ceiling with him. Would have been a great candidate for miscut or top 10, but I know which side of that equation I lean. So it's Victor Hovland, one and done for me here.
Yeah, and the good news is for you and me, I don't think anybody has a Tommy Fleetwood start left, so I'm probably going to be the only one in there, and Hovland's going to be an off the radar pick. So let's get a Hovland, a Fleetwood Hovland or a Hovland Fleetwood 1-2 to catapult us into the final stretch. So, all right, let's go to total strokes gained. And Yann, you had mentioned that you're looking at approach and iron play. So let's just take a look here. Last 3 months, who's hitting the ball well, and the number 2 is the one that really piques my interest. And you made a little money on Tom Kim. Guy's been good. He's peaking at the right time. So you got Scheffler.
He's back.
He's so back. JJ Spawn. There's the Fitzpatricks, Ludwig, Cantlay, Neiman. Lowry is in there, which is kind of an interesting one. So anything jump out to you?
No, it's just accuracy off the tee and then approach for me. It's the classy names as well. So it's Henley, Fleetwood, Hovland, and the Fitzpatricks. Though they are the obvious names I landed on just based on these graphs alone.
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. You know what stats you're looking at. You know what players you like. So yeah, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on total strokes gained this week. I kind of know what I'm looking for in this one. So, all right, let's move to players that can trip you up. While we're doing that, please hit the like button. Really, really helps us out. And drop a comment below. Tell us who you like this week. Give us an outright winner. I'm going to start with Xander Schauffele, which might be sacrilegious at an Open Championship at a major, but missed the cut last week at the Scottish Open. That's a red flag. One top 10 finish the last 7 tournaments, 25th in total strokes gained the last 3 months. He's starting to take a little bit of a dive, so I think he's still overpriced in the markets. I will not have any bets on Xander Schauffele for this week. I keep going back to Ludwig. At this point, Yann, there's got to be an injury. Something is going on with this guy. Missed the cut last week, 55th. The tourney before that, no top 15 finishes the last 5 tourneys. Finished 23rd in miscut in 2 Open Championships, and the books keep pricing him as a top 10 guy. He's not right. There's something going on with him, and this might be one of those things where at the end of the season, it's like, Ludwig had a minor surgery to clean up some scar tissue on his knee or something like that. I don't know what's going on with him, but I just know this is not the Ludwig that we've all come to expect. And another guy that's kind of fallen off a cliff, Cameron Young. Is there an injury going on with him? The books are starting to figure this out. He's priced as a top 15 guy, but this is a guy, 3 straight finishes outside of the top 40. This guy, we were singing his praises like, oh, has he turned the corner? Is he now one of the top 5 guys? But miscut and 31st at the last 2 Open Championships. The last 6 weeks, he's outside the top 75 in total strokes gained. That's how bad he's been.
He was like the best player of the year like a month ago. That's wild.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly things change throughout a golf. Like right now, do you want Cameron Young or Tom Kim?
Oh yeah, Tom Kim, 100%.
Think about if
100%.
I said that 3 months ago.
Yeah,
Like Kim
yeah.
Young would have been minus 1,000. So Xander Schauffele, Ludwig Aubert, and Cameron Young are three guys that I will not be betting on. Big name guys. Let's go to top 10 or missed cut. This player would not surprise us if he finished in the top 10 or if he missed the cut. Who did you land on? A lot of nominees this week.
I could have taken 10 guys this week, but I landed on Wacko Neiman. I think me and Andy have very different relationships with this guy. I still think he's one of the best talents in world golf. Yes, Liv has ruined his legacy and his career, but he is only 27. He still has time to be an all-timer still. Outside of Liv this year, he's been outstanding. 18th at the PGA, 7th at the US Open, and 3rd and 7th in 2 DP Tour starts. Why I like him this week, my God, his irons look fantastic. He gets a massive tick on the approach part of this equation. Where I'm concerned, I don't know if he finds fairways off the tee. If he doesn't, he cannot compete at all. If he does, I think he can actually win this event. I think you're getting one of the best ball strikers in the field and one of the classiest operators in world golf. And the beauty for him right now, no one's talking about him anymore. No one cares that he even exists, and no one expects him to do well here. I think if he brings it all together, you have a contender. But if the driver isn't there, he is going to suck. Could go either way. Wacko Neiman, a miscut or top 10 guy for me this week.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of nominees we could have put in here. Wacko Neiman, certainly a good one. I will throw the runner-up last week, Minwoo Lee, out of nowhere, a second place at the Scottish Open. Before that, 62nd miscut. The last 3 months, he can't putt, minus 0.26. His approach is meh, plus 0.21. And he's just really not good at Open Championships. Miscut, 41, 21, miscut. And then second last week on a somewhat of a link style course. So nothing would surprise me with this guy after that finish last week. It truly came out of nowhere. A runner-up from Minwoo Lee. So that's going to be my top 10 or miscut. All right, let's do head-to-heads. Quite a few. I'll let you go first. What was one you landed on?
I have 2 very dirty head-to-heads this week, and I love both of them. Firstly, I'm going to take Tom McKibbin over Max Homer. This is a bit of a home game for Tom McKibbin. Like a lot of the younger British Isles guys, he grew up as a links course specialist. They are all naturally suited to playing these courses. He will find fairways and he will be all-out attack on approach. I expect a really decent showing from McKibbin if he can make things click this week. He's being overlooked in the markets because he's a no-name live guy. But I watched him a lot on the DP Tour, and he was a top 20 machine. He loves European golf, and he's only 23. He has all the talent in the world, and at this track, I think he goes well. Max Homer, on the other hand, you aren't in California anymore, brother. He's just too wayward off the tee. I think he's going to get into trouble consistently. I really don't care he came second in the John Deere. That's not enough for me. He's not good enough with a driver or good enough with the irons for me to take him seriously. Homer's best strength right now is he's a great putter. But when you're putting for bogey and not par because you ended up in the long stuff off the tee, I'm not really sure that saves you. This is purely a stylistic matchup that really favours McKibbin, and I think he might not have to do a great deal to make this one cash.
Yeah, there was a quite a few of them. I'll go to one in one of the more obscure books, but I did find Robert McIntyre over Ludwig Aubert. So if you have that one, I would certainly look at it. It's just not available on all the books. I'll take Russell Henley as a slight underdog against Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim, who has not had a lot of success at link style courses. I mean, he was pretty good last week, 9th, but you look at Open Championships, miscut 43rd, miscut 15th. Russell Henley, 10th and 5th. This is just in his last 2 years. This is just kind of a style that fits him pretty good. Hit fairways, hit it onto the green, take your birdie opportunities, and then all of a sudden there's Russell Henley in 10th place. So I like the way he plays here, and it really looks like he turned the corner the last 2 years, because you look previous last 2 years, he was really bad at these. There's a lot of miscuts and finishes outside the top 40, but Last 2 years, he seemed to finish it pretty good. He's coming in on pretty good form here. So he's just got it. Whenever there's a course where length is not a requirement, you just have to go to Russell Henley. He's just too good and too accurate. So Russell Henley over Siwoo is going to be one that I'm looking at. What's your second one?
This might be the dirtiest play on the board, but I love it. Give me Shane Lowry over Patrick Cantlay. Shane's not had a good year at all. I've faded him multiple times. But if you're going to give me a links course in Ireland, there is only one guy that will always make my list, and that is Big Shane. Everything about these courses just comes natural to him. He's been playing them since he was a kid. He knows what it takes to go well at any links track. Yes, he missed the cut last week, but he didn't have a huge blowout round like Cantlay did, and I think that's a big positive. I think last week was just a huge prep week spot for Shane, and I think this week is going to be very different. And as poor as Lowry has been this year, two things haven't left at any point, and that's accuracy off the tee and approach play. So if we're just saying just hit fairways and find greens, Shane's been doing that all year. It's the other elements of his game that's been letting him down. His total lack of putting doesn't concern me either on these flat greens. I think he'll be okay. I actually think Shane Lowry might contend this week. And then Patrick Cantlay, you aren't in Florida anymore, brother. He's had a few wayward showings off the tee. That's a concern. I think he'll lose his head if he can't find the driver early. The big thing for me with Cantlay, I don't see him able to use his short game class in the normal way that he would, and that would just take away his biggest weapon. I just don't think links golf is something he loves. Missed a cut last week where his second round was one of the worst rounds you'll ever see. His irons are more than good enough. If he's finding fairways, he should do all right, but I just have serious doubts about the style of play required this week. I think Cantlay might struggle to actually make the cut here. I've just got two very different takes on guys that missed the cut last week. Give me the natural links guy in Lowry over someone I have multiple concerns about in Cantlay.
Yeah, I mean, these guys on DraftKings are right next to each other on outrights, 57-1 and 58-1. So the books are kind of with you on this one, that it's like it's Shane Lowry, it's Ireland. It's just like, would it surprise you at all if this guy shows up? So it's funny you bring up Waco Neiman, because yes, you and I do have very different takes on him. And I just think the verdict is in, and this guy does not know how to play link style golf. And I will take Tom Kim over Waco Neiman. It's just this track record at Open Championships: miscut 58, miscut 53rd, 59th, miscut. He can't break into the top 50 on any course. Tom Kim, one of the hottest golfers around. He's missed the cut here the last 2 years, but I can't ignore 6 showings at Open Championships with Waco Neiman.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's fading Neiman at the Open Championship is one of my annual traditions. It's just like
let's hope he misses the cut. Then we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So that's gonna be my final head-to-head. So if you're watching this on Tuesday, we do have $5 Tuesday. We have multiple plays up. We have a darts play for the match play that takes place on Saturday. We've got an Open Championship play for only $5 that is up. We've got cricket. So if you're interested in some $5 plays and you're watching this on Tuesday, go grab those before midnight. If you're looking for the rest of our tournament plays, and we're gonna have several plays here. We are running the 7 days of golf for $25. That way you get all of our full tournament plays, and if we have any individual round plays, you get that as well. We have a 5% UFC best bet that is up, coming off of a 3-0 sweep at UFC 329. We're seeing that sport really, really well. And time to fire a big one that goes off this Saturday. So a lot of good things. That's over at wt.buzz/AL. Maybe the dog days of summer, but not for us. Not for us. We got a lot of sports to handicap.
We're peaking, boys. We're peaking.
Absolutely. There's a lot of profits out there. So a lot of people take vacation during this time in this business. Not us. We're here for it. So, all right, let's go to top finishers. Yann and I can pick top 10, top 20. Top 40s. I'll go first. Patrick Reed, top 40. It's a major.
Love it.
He missed the cut at the U.S. Open. This is a completely different style. This guy finished 12th and 10th at the Masters and the PGA Championship. 6 top 40 finishes on the DP World Tour, including a couple wins. This guy's making a statement this year. This is a guy that it would not surprise me in the slightest if he's near the top of the leaderboard. So I think we're getting a great price on Patrick Reed, top 40. What's your first one?
I will start with a potential client play, and it's Russell Henley top 30, including ties at even money. Gotta love taking a guy that you know is just going to find every single fairway. He's the most accurate player in the field and has classy irons. It's all I want for this assignment. He isn't going to end up in any trouble here, and that gives him a massive advantage on the rest of the field. Cash an outright winner for me in the Charles Schwab, so he is in my good books right now. And then third in the Masters, sixth in the Arnold Palmer, and 13th at the Players really shows how consistent and classy Henley can be. He gets to play his game here, and Henley has showed that when he's playing his game, he is elite. I've played him outright as well. This price is dumb. I'll go as far to say if he makes putts this week, he contends outright. I expect a really good week from Henley, and I think he will easily hit top 30.
Have to agree there. We both like Russell Henley. This guy can be infuriating to bet on. You never know what you're going to get with him. But he just loves playing Open Championships. 11 straight years cashing this play. It's Jordan Spieth, top 40, including ties. It's not been his best year. He's definitely on the down third. He's had injuries, but man, does he just show up in Open Championships. He makes cuts. He finishes in the top. You're going to see the shot from when he won, at the Open Championship all week. And there's already videos about how the shot is now like literally impossible to hit again. It was one of the worst. That's got to be one of the worst shots from a major won. It's hilarious every time. But I just gotta trust history. All good things are going to come to an end. And Jordan Spieth finishing in the top 40 is going to come to an end. It might be this year, but until he does, I've just got to keep playing him. I mean, his recent finishes are bad: 58, 66, 56, miscut. He didn't even play last week, but I just expect him to show up at Open Championship. So it's a nostalgic pick. We'll just say that. So what's your second?
It's Tom Kim, top 40, including ties at -125. Last week's win doesn't even come into it for me. He was on my list for this event weeks ago. Having said that, his third at the US Open and his win last week makes him a contender for me here. I don't care about what he was doing earlier in the year. His game wasn't there. It's meaningless in my opinion. His iron play is back, and that's more than enough to have a decent showing here. He has some around the green, the class that might help him if things play out that way. He's a steady putter. And then it just comes down to price. I don't understand how in this day and age of sports betting that a market can be so far off a 24-year-old who is a 4-time PGA winner. There should be more hype for him now than there was in the first few showings of him on the PGA Tour. He ticks every box. I think he will love this track stylistically. I think he's a huge price. If I think the recipe is find fairways and attack greens with irons, how are you not taking Tom Kim and Russell Henley this week?
Yeah, have to agree with it. We love ourselves some Tom Kim, and it just doesn't seem like he's got the buzz. People are just glossing over him. I don't know. I don't quite understand it. So, all right, outright winners. Yann, who's going to win it?
I have 2.5 guys this week. Firstly, an honourable mention. I'm not going to do a full breakdown on it because we all know what I'm going to say. I am taking Matthew Thomas Fitzpatrick outright. His irons class are just too good not to take, and he has been playing like he's the best player in the world for a couple of months now. I love him top 20 for what it's worth. But there is two I'm actually going to talk about, and I'll start with probably my most likely winner, and that is your one and done pick, Tommy Fleetwood at 20-1. Tommy has the perfect game for this course. He will find fairways, and he's one of the best ball strikers on tour. I have zero concerns about Tommy Fleetwood's game right now. He doesn't even have to worry about putting either. I think he's going to be fine if it gets tense down the stretch on Sunday. I feel like his year has just been leading up to this week. He started so slow, but it just keeps getting better and better. And now he's got the perfect setup to have a crack at a major. It's now 6 top 20s in his last 7 events. Talk about peaking at the right time. He had a perfect prep week last week with a 13th place finish in Scotland. I think Fleetwood might just finally get his big win. And I think this price is very playable. And then my outsider pick, I am going with Brian Harman at 100-1. A guy who ticks every box at this price is well worth taking. He has the ball control on fast greens. He has the accuracy with the driver and with the irons. He will avoid mistakes. I've said it about Tom Kim and Russell Henley, and I'll say it about Brian Harman. If the game plan is just find fairways and hit the greens, you have to like Brian Harman right now. He is doing that at an elite level. He's had a sneakily good year without ever really competing. He's only missed one cut since February. And that level of consistency is really useful for this assignment because it tells me you have a guy who isn't going to have a blow-up round. He was 11th at the Players and 2 top 40s at the Masters and the US Open. That's more than classy enough to go well here. He's had 4 top 20s at Opens with the outright win in there. He likes this style of play more than most. This price is a bit silly. I think he has a chance. It's all value. Brian Harman to be a 2-time Open winner is possible.
Yeah, I had that the odds on Brian Harman are just laughable. This guy's finished like top 10 multiple years at Open Championship. Like, come on. Listen, we'll take it, but I think the odds are just insanely bad. I had a little note that Corey Connors at 130 to 1 seems a little out there. He finished top 10 here. Is he going to win? No, but 130 to 1 on a guy that makes the
Agreed.
You know, it seems a little out there. I have this guy in the it's just time. It's just time for Robert McIntyre to make the next step in his career. I got him at 36 to 1. Top 10, 2 tourneys in a row, including 3rd last week. He's had solid finishes at Open Championships. He was 7th last year. The last 30 days, 12th in total strokes gained. His only weakness is the length off the tee. No problem here. His approach is around the green. His putting is just fantastic. I think it's time that we see him evolve into the next tier of golfers. When he first came on the scene, didn't really know that much about him, and he struggled, and he's just gotten better and better and better. He's 29 years old. I just think it's time for Bobby Mack to elevate himself. So I got him at 36 to 1. All right. Draftkings Darlings. Didn't have any lineups in last week because I was out of town. I'm going to actually go over Yann here. Let me pull it. I'm actually going to go over my full lineup. I'll give it out on the show for reasons that you're going to laugh at. But we'll start with Brian Harman, who's only 6,600. We went over it, 5 straight made cuts, 4 of those top 20s, a win, finished 36 last week. We didn't even mention that. He finished 36 last week at the Scottish. So the other thing, made the cut in 14 out of the last 15 tournaments, and he's made the cut at all the majors. That's a big deal for him. He normally struggles at the Masters. So when it's come time for the big tournaments, he's done well. I mentioned Patrick Reed. He's only 7,000. Been fantastic this year on the PGA Tour. He did miss the cut US Open, 12th, 10th at the other majors, 13th last week. We glossed over that at the Scottish Open. It's just when the stage is big and all things are equal, he's going to be there. And that's the other thing. This tournament, we've seen waves just have it way tougher than I was like, oh my God, the morning guys had to play in a monsoon and then the afternoon guys get a watered down course. I don't think we get that this week. I don't think, I think everything's going to be fairly equal, which makes this a much easier handicap, hopefully. So, and then Russell Henley at 7,700. We went over him 5th and 10th, last 2 Open Championships. But I'll go over my full lineup. I am going to put Tommy Fleetwood in, and I don't think I've done it this year. I'm putting both Fitzpatricks in.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I want the combo, Alex and Matthew Fitzpatrick. And Alex has played in one Open Championship, and he finished 17th.
Yeah,
this guy's been good. So I get the power of the Fitzpatrick brothers. Fleetwood is my one and done, and I get guys that we all really like, Harman, Reed, and
you might as well just move to England at this point.
Power. I'll move to England, but before I'll go on a hunting trip with Brian Harman. Oh man. So yeah, that's a power lineup right there. Got a lot of upside.
I love it
in there. So. All right, great breakdowns. Once again, guys, if you're watching this on Tuesday, we've got $5 Tuesday that is up. I forgot to mention we also have a World Cup, 4% World Cup best bet that is up for the England game. So we're really excited about that. Again, wt.buzz/AL is where all of our plays are. If you want 7 days of our golf best bets, you get the entire Open Championship all the way through Sunday. If you're looking for a 5% best bet in UFC, we've got you covered there, coming off a 3-0 sweep and a nice 14-5 run. It's also a bare knuckle fighting championship week for me, Yann. So this is a big week. I'm excited.
Pumped, man.
Yep, let's do it. All right, thanks guys for watching again. Drop a comment, tell us who you like this week, and hit the like button. Just helps the algorithm out. You guys know that. So appreciate everyone watching. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone next week.